Dust blew like smoke through the cracked wood planks of Harmony Ridge. It was the summer of 1872, and heat rolled off the desert ground in ghostly waves. The saloon piano played off-key, and folks pretended not to hear the screams of a girl dragged across the dirt to the town square. She was barely 16, barefoot, face streaked with soot, her sun-bleached dress torn at the shoulder. Men stood around laughing. Someone shouted, "Ain't she wild? Bet she's Apache-blooded." And that was all the excuse they needed. Sheriff Roy Kilmer nodded once. "Sell her," he said. "No family. Just wandered in from the Mesa," added the blacksmith. The auctioneer slapped the block. "Starting at $10. The girl's name was Elira. She was half Apache, half white, born between worlds, wanted by neither. She didn't cry, not when the bids came, not when the old rancher spat on her hand and claimed her like property, and not when they loaded her into the back of a wagon like she was cattle. She swore on her mother's bones that she'd never be that helpless again. Chapter 2, The Outlaw with a Heartbeat. The first time Bo McAllister saw her, she was already gone. He'd just returned from rubbing a payroll train 2 counties over, a .44 on his hip and blood crusting his shirt. He was tired. Hollow, a wanted man with nowhere to sleep but the barn. He watched from the shadows as they dragged Elira off. Something in him cracked. He didn't know her name, didn't know her story, but he knew pain when he saw it. That night, Bo left town. Some said he was running from the law again, but he wasn't. He was running from himself, and from the look in that girl's eyes. Chapter 3, 12 Years Like Fire. The land between years is vast and cruel. Bo spent a decade drifting through outlaw bands, bounty work, even fighting in Mexico for a spell. But he never forgot the girl. He tried to drink the memory away, but it always came back, her sun-scorched face, her silence, her strength. Meanwhile, Elira disappeared from every map. Rumor said she died on a mining road near Tucson. Others whispered she'd married a U.S. cavalryman. But the truth was stranger. Elira had escaped, on foot, with 2 broken ribs, and nothing but a stolen knife. A band of outcast Apache warriors had found her bleeding in the cliffs. Their leader, Chaska, recognized the fire in her eyes and took her in. They named her Ashani, meaning strong storm. Elira trained like a warrior. She rode like lightning. She learned every code of the land, from scalp-trading bandits to corrupt lawmen. By 25, she was Chaska's second. By 27, she commanded 70 fierce warriors, half native, half white, all unwanted by the world. And she had not forgotten Harmony Ridge. Chapter 4, A Town Full of Ghosts. 12 years to the day, the people of Harmony Ridge woke to the sound of thunder, not from the sky, but the ground. 70 horses surrounded the town at sunrise, faces painted in war colors, rifles aimed. The townsfolk screamed, bolted windows, grabbed pistols. And at the front rode a woman in buckskin, her hair braided with silver beads, a long scar tracing her cheek. Her eyes were colder than the desert moon. "Elira," whispered the blacksmith, now gray and trembling. She dismounted, walked through the same square where they'd sold her like meat. Sheriff Roy, now nearly retired, stepped out of the jailhouse. "Elira, we thought you were dead." "You hoped I was," she replied, calm and steady. "But now I've come for justice." "No one wants trouble," the sheriff said, hand hovering over his gun. Elira smiled. "Neither did I 12 years ago." Chapter 5, The Outlaw Returns. Bo McAllister heard about the siege while sitting in a dusty saloon 50 miles north. Someone muttered something about Apache devil woman surrounding Harmony. He dropped his whiskey. His heart hit his boots. It had to be her. He rode like hellfire through the canyon passes, through dust storms and danger. When he arrived at the outskirts of Harmony Ridge, the town was frozen. No one in, no one out. And there she was. Elira, he shouted from the ridgeline. She turned slowly. Recognition flickered in her eyes, then confusion, then steel. I remember you, she said, arms crossed. You watched them take me. I did, Bo said, ashamed, and I've regretted it every single day. A long silence. Why are you here? She asked. To stand by you, if you'll let me. Chapter 6. The Ultimatum. Inside the saloon, Elira faced a town council. She wasn't there for blood. She was there for reckoning. I've come for the names, she said. Every man who bid that day. Every man who laid a hand on me. I'll take them out of here in chains, or I'll burn this town to the ground. The townspeople shifted nervously. Bo stood behind her, his hand resting on the butt of his revolver. Sheriff Roy cleared his throat. Some of those men are gone. Some are still here. But we're not the same people. Elira's eyes narrowed. But you never paid. I'll go, the sheriff said suddenly. I should have stopped it. I won't fight justice. Elira blinked. Something human returned to her gaze. A few others stepped forward, names she remembered like nightmares. One cried. Another begged. She made no promises. Only justice. Chapter 7. Ashes and Forgiveness. At sunset, the warriors opened the circle. Elira stood at the same auction block, now worn by time, and stared at the crack where she'd been tied. I burned for years, she told Bo, her voice low. Hate kept me alive. Revenge made me strong. But now... Bo looked at her. What now? I don't want to carry it anymore. She dropped the torch onto the wood. The auction block caught flame. Behind her, the warriors began to chant. Not a war cry, but a mourning song. A farewell to the past. Chapter 8. Something worth staying for. That night, Bo and Elira sat on a cliffside overlooking Harmony Ridge. The town lights flickered below like stars fallen to earth. You could still raise a place, Bo said. I could, she agreed, but I won't. What they did was monstrous. But burning it won't heal me. Forgiveness will. Bo studied her in the moonlight. What do you do now? She smiled faintly. I've got 70 people who trust me, follow me. Maybe it's time to build instead of destroy. I'd ride with you, he said quietly. Not for redemption, for love. Elira turned to him, truly seeing him for the first time. I remember you didn't bid, she said, but you didn't stop it either. I was a coward, he admitted. You're here now. They kissed under the stars, two wounded souls, finding light in the ashes of old fires. Chapter 9. The Woman with 70 Warriors. In the months that followed, Harmony Ridge changed. Elira's warriors helped build a school for orphaned children. Bo took a job as sheriff. Ironic, but the town trusted him. They married that fall under the juniper trees, with a circle of warriors and townsfolk around them. Elira became a legend, the woman who had every reason to destroy a town but chose mercy. Children whispered her name. Outlaws feared it, and the land remembered her footprints like sacred carvings. Where once she had been sold like meat, she now stood as a symbol of strength, of justice, of love rising from ruin.